what I would suggest that you do as new players, first of all, if you haven't played the game at all, who was it? I'm so terrible at names. Pan you. If you haven't actually played the game yet, please do follow one of those two links. If you're European region or North American region or Americas, please do follow one of those two links because it'll get you some free stuff. So you get some free stuff right when you log in, and then when you get to a certain tier, you'll get some extra free stuff. So please do that. Okay, so in terms of what you should focus on, like I understand the want or the desire to think, okay, I need to find out what the strongest vehicles are and I need to head for those. Forget that. That is the wrong solution. Because what will end up happening is you're like, for example, someone will tell you, I don't know, let's think of a ship. Someone will tell you, Des Moines is like the strongest cruiser in, it's not necessarily, but just go with me. Des Moines is the strongest cruiser in the game. You need to go for Des Moines and you need to immediately get the unique upgrade. You'll get that kind of advice. The problem with doing that is that if you go, and you don't do anything other than just grind through this line, which you could do, wouldn't take very long. Some of the lines are really, really hard to play. And this is probably one of them. And yes, it is a very good ship. But one of the reasons it's a good ship is because you need the unique upgrade that comes with it. You probably don't even know what a unique upgrade is right now. And you're just going to have a bad time and it's going to turn you off the game. A similar thing happens when people come in and they're like, I'm going to play some famous ships. So they go for the line that has Bismarck in it and they end up at Preußen. And they've played through a line which is very, very tanky and isn't very satisfying to play. And you probably end up with some bad habits. And so a lot of people go for the Bismarck as one of the first ships they aim for. And it's a mistake, I think, because it ends up teaching you some bad habits. So what I would do is you want to play at least battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. You could play submarines and you could play carriers. You don't have to, but you can. And I think it's a good idea to at least play them a little bit just so you understand what they are, what they do. And you can't really get that idea without actually playing them a few times just to understand how they work mechanically. So what is that player seeing when they're playing? Because the views on those two are slightly different and the capabilities of the ships are kind of unique. So what I would do in terms of battleships, let's say you're going to take 2 of each line. So you can have 6 lines, 2 battleship, 2 cruiser, 2 destroyers. So for battleships, I would choose 2 out of Japan, America, and Russia. So Japan and the US are kind of both similar sort of medium to longer range ships where you're focusing on getting your gunnery accurate. You're learning about leading, you're learning about aiming, you're learning about looking around the map and finding targets. The Russian battleships are a little bit different because they are much more in your face. They have very good close range accuracy, and so you need to be a bit more aggressive in them. So perhaps like one of those two and the Russian line, so the Kremlin line. In terms of the Americans, we're about to have a 3rd branch added. The branch that's being added is kind of specialist because it's a hybrid line. Initially, I would head for either Vermont or Montana. It generally doesn't matter which one of the two you choose. If you go with Japan right now, there's only one line, so just go for Yamato. So I would do that for the battleships. For the cruisers, I think you've got a lot more choice as a beginner. I think it would be totally fine. You could just choose any 2 from Japan, it's fine. USA lights or heavies, fine. USSR cruisers, either branch is fine. Germany, Hindenburg, fine. I would avoid the Brits because they are quite tricky to play. It doesn't mean they're bad, it just means they're hard to play. France, great for beginners, fine. Italy, I think is probably okay for beginners. You just have to realize that the armament is slightly different. But that's something that you'll learn while you're playing, and as long as you mix it with some other cruisers, that'll be fine. And I would leave it there for the cruisers. With destroyers, I would play either one smoking and one non-smoking line or two smoking lines. So I usually recommend for beginners that you do use smoke. And I'd recommend the gearing line and the daring line. So USA and Britain. If you want to play something that's a little bit more like a cruiser, you could try the Kleber line, which is this one. You could do maybe daring line and Kleber line. I would go for that. All right. Let me set a marker because that was pretty good. I was quite happy with that. Marker. Newbie ships. There you go. All right. So don't forget this VOD is available right now. So if you missed some of that, you can go back in the VOD right now. Just go to my videos page and you can watch it again immediately. But I'll also I'll highlight that at some point and I'll stick it up on my videos page somewhere as a sort of recommendation for lines you should look at. Now, that doesn't mean that they're the best lines in the game. It means they're good for learning the game. So, like, which ships are the strongest is something you worry about later. You need to learn the skills first. Okay.